Hey everybody, Al Smith here, and welcome to part 3 in the 4-part series on leadership in the workplace. I'm quite excited about today's topic because it falls in the category of personal development from a leadership perspective. Earlier this year, we had a change in leadership at the top of my organization. And as customary, when you have a change of that magnitude, the new leader goes around and visits all the offices within the organization to introduce themselves, talk about the priorities as they see it, and then outline a vision that will guide the organization moving forward. We were no different in this respect. Our leader came out to our office and she kind of talked about the usual things that you would expect in a meeting like that. But then she said something that I found to be quite intriguing. She said, as leaders, we are responsible for the quality of the experience our employees have in the workplace. We own that accountability. She went on to say that we also are responsible to engage, inspire, and motivate our employees to high performance. Now, that's not the first time that I ever heard those concepts, but it was one of the first times I can recall hearing those concepts as requirements or table stakes of leadership versus some behaviors that were optional. And you may say, wait a minute, Al, I got to motivate my people. I'm dealing with adults. I'm dealing with professionals. Why in the world would I have to motivate them to do their job and do it at a high level? After all, they took the job, they read the job description. Why do I have to do that? Well, it's a good question, but in a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do it. Yeah, also in a perfect world, I'd be 6 feet tall and could dunk a basketball, and that hasn't happened yet. So it's a legitimate question, but let's kind of unpack it a bit. I found a great answer to that question from an unlikely source. I watch the NFL Network. I'm a sports junkie, football especially, go Bears. And I was watching a show called Hard Knocks, and it's a program where they profile a NFL franchise during training camp, those 3 weeks, which is pretty grueling. And this was back when Herm Edwards, they were profiling the Kansas City Chiefs when Herm Edwards was the coach. So it was some years ago. Gunther Cunningham was actually the defensive coordinator. And Gunther Cunningham said something that was kind of interesting. He said, hey, look, I coach multimillionaires. They're earning millions of dollars every single year. And what people don't understand is I still have to motivate them. And he said, I have to motivate them because they're human. They're human. So if Gunther Cunningham has to motivate professionals who reside at the top tier of the tax bracket, I think it's safe to say that we'll have to motivate the average employee who earns considerably less. I believe that motivating and inspiring your team, it's really a prerequisite to sustained high performance. We got to find a way to make sure our folks are engaged, inspired, completely plugged in, ready to go, and amped about doing high quality work. That's our responsibility. It's one thing to say, okay, you got to do all these things, but okay, Al, how do you do it? Now, for me, I can tell you what has worked for me, and I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you the first thing you got to do is know your people. You've got to know what makes them tick. You've got to know what buttons to push and then where those buttons are located. You got to know their goals, dreams, aspirations, the things that make them want to do more. You got to know those things. And I found an easy way to get that information is, I meet one-on-one anytime I get a new person within my team. And one of the things I ask them is, okay, so tell me why you come to work. And I ask the question, and after asking the question, it's followed by prolonged silence and a confused stare. And then they answer the question. And when they answer the question, it's quite revealing. That information is important. And then after you know and really learn your people, you know them, then you got to connect their work to their dreams, goals, and aspirations. So, hey, if you make those 2 additional sales calls, or if you're able to get this project done on time and under budget, or if you're able to get this strategy just right, it brings you 1, 2, 3 steps closer to meeting your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Now, of course, the format of that conversation is going to be different for every person, but we've got to find a way to connect the work with who they want to be. I'm convinced the average employee has additional capacity. They can do more, be more, and give more. No question about it. But unfortunately, there are too many leaders, far too many leaders out there who have created the conditions that permit mediocrity. And dare I say it, they encourage it. I really believe that, folks want to give more. I can tell you, you did not wake up this morning after you showered, you brushed your teeth, you got dressed, ate a nice bowl of oatmeal. I'm sure you didn't say, today feels like a mediocre day. Or today I'm going to find every way to be average. No, you didn't say that. And you didn't say it, and neither do your employees. Not even your lowest performer. We have an innate desire to be great, to achieve more. I mean, if you look at the top tier of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's self-actualization. We want to be more. We want to give more. It's a leader's job to get us plugged in and ready to give it. One of my personal development mentors, Zig Ziglar, I think said it best. He said, motivation is like bathing. It doesn't last long. That's why it's recommended daily. Hey, look, I wish you the absolute best as you find ways to get your employees psyched up, motivated, amped up, and plugged in to the priorities of your work. Because after all, that's just the hallmark of a great leader. I'd love to hear your comments, so please comment. Let me know what you think about the post. And thanks so much for joining me on this edition of the Career Lounge. Take care.